Welcome to Off the Cut, a podcast where we talk about building, making,
and answering all of your questions.
I'm Eric from Spenceley Design Co.
And I'm Zach from Zach Builds. If you have a question that you would like us to answer on air, you can send it to offthecutpodcast@gmail.com.
You can find both of us on YouTube, Instagram, and unfortunately, because we have to keep up with kids, you can find us on TikTok too.
All right, now let's get into the show.
Zach, your keyboard is unbelievably loud, man.
Oh, was it?
You're ruining the intro. All I hear is clickety, clickety, clack, 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 clack.
We were talking in the live chat about what would happen if you died and then your cat ate you. And I was like, I'd be happy if my cat could eat, like if I were to die and I wouldn't be able to feed my cat, I would want her to eat me so that she could sustain herself for a little bit longer.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
Waste not, want not.
Yeah. Let's get right into it.
That is how you start a podcast.
That's
everybody.
how you start a podcast. Cannibalistic cats.
No, it's not cannibalistic.
That's what I was going to ask. Is it a cannibalistic cat if a cat eats a human?
That's a good question. Does cannibalism refer to eating humans or does it refer to eating your own species? I always thought it meant eating your own species.
I did too.
Yeah.
Cannibalism, eating humans if animal. Hashtag. Okay, cannibalism, according to Wikipedia, man, we're off to a fresh start here.
Yeah.
Is the act of consuming another individual of the same species as food.
Okay.
And their first example on Wikipedia is slugs eating one another.
Okay. That's not where my mind would go. How much would it cost to get you to eat a human being, like a human being steak?
Oh, what kind of cut are we talking? Like a New York strip?
Yeah, like upper
Filet?
thigh area, I think. A nice fatty cut.
I feel like if you're going to eat like a human's thigh, you would have to, there'd probably be a slow cooker, maybe an Instapot.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking like seared on the barbecue.
Oh, a sauce? No sauce?
I mean, if it helps go down easier, a little butter sauce on the side.
I mean, I'm going to be real for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I've probably put a lot of questionable things into my mouth before.
Yeah.
That I may or may not have known the origin of where they came from.
You may have already ate people.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I haven't actively gone out and been like, man, I could really go for a 27-year-old,
dental hygienist
thigh right now. Yeah. Haven't done that. But
I mean, okay, so let's say you could source it ethically. Like, say, as soon as there's like a motorcycle crash, there's just like a person there hacking the person up into cuts of meat. And they're like, Eric, I'll give you $1 million if you eat this like steak of human thigh.
I mean, honestly, I think what's bothering you the most is the fact that it is a human.
Oh yeah, 100%. Let's remove like the ethical, like nobody had to suffer in order for you to get that. Like nobody died so that you could eat them. It's just like found meat, essentially.
So now we're eating human roadkill.
Yeah, essentially.
Oh, God, I don't know. I like I said, I honestly probably have. Like, how many hot dogs or like mystery meat things have you been like? I don't know what this is.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, I assume some percentage of every hot dog is human beings. It's just like people at the factory falling into the conveyor belts and getting pressed into cylindrical meat.
I tell you, I don't think I ever told you the story. So this summer, I went to a wedding,
and
I
really want to know where this is going.
I shit you. Oh, there's explicit.
There's the explicit.
Well, you might as well let it ride. I shit you not. It was. I'm not going to say where it was because somebody might be listening that knows well, screw it, whatever. If they'll know exactly what I mean if they say this. It was in like a shelter house, like at a park You know, you can rent those things.
Oh, yeah, like a little gazebo or whatever.
Right, yeah, but like a big one, right? There are probably like 100, 200 people there. Pretty big one. I'm all for budget stuff, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, they have like the line of food, and it's like the stuff in the foil pans with the little special candles underneath.
Sure.
Buffet style. I shit you not. One of the dishes just said barbecue meat. And everybody was taking it, and people were like, "Oh, this is chicken. Oh, this is pork. Oh, this is beef."
There was
no
debate.
one knew what it was.
Was it like pulled? Like
no,
it
was like slices.
Oh, interesting. I feel like I could at least determine if it was chicken or beef. Like, no.
That's what I'm saying. I could have been eating barbecued human right there.
Yeah, true. I was once at a Chinese food restaurant, and I was going through, it was one of those, Chinese food places often have this thing where they have a menu with like 300 items on it.
You order by the number.
Yeah, you order by the number, exactly. So I was like deep in this menu, and they legitimately had an item that was like pigeon on rice.
Okay.
And I tried to order it because, I mean, obviously you see pigeon on the menu. It's like, I'm not going to try the pigeon. But they're like, oh, sorry, we don't have it today. I was like, damn.
Well, it's like when you're in a coastal restaurant and they're like, catch of the day.
Yeah, well, exactly. I was like, right in the middle of downtown Toronto. But I was surprised.
You're inland, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, is this a joke item? Like, are they just kidding around? Is it kind of like a gag menu item, or is it like serious? Because I mean, there's no reason you couldn't eat pigeon. It's a bird.
Yeah, we eat chicken.
Yeah, exactly. So
I eat mongoose all the time.
Wait, isn't a mongoose? It's like a rodent, isn't it?
I don't know. Is that
it's like a ferret or something.
Oh man.
This is why we need a producer right now. We need somebody to pull up a picture of a mongoose on the screen right now.
Yeah. Well, we're 10 minutes in. What do you say I hit the intro?
Yeah, well, the guys in the live chat were saying the food of the day is people.
Food of the day is people. It's not. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to Off the Cut episode 53. Ooh. We're up in Toronto. Today is known as Tuesday, February 21st, 2023. But here in Ohio, today is respectfully dedicated to the food of the day. I'm going to mispronounce this. Go ahead.
No, I was getting ready to point really hard when you said what the food of the day was.
I'm going to mispronounce this. So if it comes off as something that's offensive to any people groups, I apologize. Faschnat.
What is that?
It's spelled Fasnacht. So you look it up. I'm going to describe to people what it is, knowing nothing about it.
Okay.
Ooh. So this is a long-standing German tradition that started in the 1600s, where every year you would get together, and when your relative would die, you would cut off a piece of their leg, you would barbecue it, and you would serve it at the next wedding, and that's where it came from. Faschnat.
If I die, I want to be barbecued and consumed at my funeral.
You want me to? Do you want to be fashionated?
Yeah, I want to be fashionated. Okay. I'm gonna write that into my will.
It's already in mine.
For anybody actually wondering, a fashionet is a German donut, I think.
Oh, did I pronounce it correctly?
I assume I'm not pronouncing it
like
correctly.
Faschnat or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, does the donut look good?
Yeah, it kind of looks like a Boston cream donut, but it's not like there's no hole in it. It's just like a pastry with some cream in the middle from what I'm seeing on Google Images. Looks all right. I'd eat it.
It appears that it's connected to some sort of festival in which people dress up like aliens or ghosts or clowns or something.
Oh yeah, I thought you were kidding around, but then now I'm looking at some other
No,
images and I do actually see that.
it appears to be some sort of German Halloween.
Yeah. Ooh, creepy clowns.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not a huge fan of donuts with like stuffing in them.
I don't really like donuts in general.
Yeah, you're not a sweets guy. I always forget that. But yeah, I like my donuts predictable. I don't like because when you get a jelly filled donut, you're like, is this the bite where I strike the gushy core?
Too much pressure.
Exactly.
Or if it shoots out the end.
Yeah, I know. It ends up all over your shirt. It's a risk. I don't like it.
Oh, man, dude. Speaking of things that are pressurized, I've got a effing story to tell you.
All right, let's do it.
I mean, okay. So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
You ever used a bidet before?
No, I have some friends who swear by it. They act like it's the greatest thing that's ever been invented, but I haven't gone down that rabbit hole yet.
Okay. So look, maybe I should rewind for this story. I'll get there. So Miranda and I were talking about getting a bidet, and we're like, all right, we don't want to buy like a whole new toilet.
Yeah, you get the little add-on one that like clips onto the side of your toilet, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So they had a Valentine's Day sale, which is exactly what you want to get somebody for Valentine's.
Correct.
You're like, hey, your backside is a little dirty. We got to clean her up.
Hint, hint, here you go.
So it was like 30% off.
Okay.
Right? So I decided I'd get it. Well, it showed up, I don't know, Thursday or Friday. And I get a call from my apartment complex.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, hey, the girl's kind of like snickering, kind of laughing a little bit. And she's like, hey, we got a package for you, just showed up. And I'm just like, all right, thanks. And I'm just like thinking, oh, this was delivered in a like marked box.
Yeah,
right?
Branding all over the side. It's like on the side of the box, it's literally a jet stream shooting into somebody's butthole.
Right. So I walk over there. And I walk in, I'm just like, hi, I'm here to pick up a packet. And I like didn't even finish the sentence. And she goes, for Eric? And I was like, yep. She hands it over and is like, trying not to laugh, right? Hands me this box and I see it on the front of it. The bidet is called the Tushy.
Yes, yeah, I know the brand.
Okay. And then it has like a bunch of like poop related stuff, like the bidet for the modern pooper and like all this like poop related stuff. And I'm like, oh, come on. You know, so anyway, go ahead. No,
I was going to say, is that really any more disgusting than just having like a bunch of toilet paper dropped off at your house?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But they're making a big deal out of it. Like,
you should have taken it from her. You should have just been like, grow up.
So that's not even the good part.
Okay.
All right. So I get back to the apartment. I set it down because I got a work meeting in like 15 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I set it down and then I went to go use the restroom. Well, I stood up and I've never had this happen before, but I kind of, stood up, rotated 180 degrees, took a small step towards the toilet to get the flush handle. Well, as soon as I did that, I was like, oh man, I kicked the wall. And what happened is the toilet inlet valve was cheapest piece of plastic I've seen in my entire life. And I cracked it.
Oh, no.
And if you've installed a toilet before, Zach, that is some high pressure water. Especially
in an apartment complex, because they tend to get you want to have a good head of pressure so that you can service all the apartments,
right,
in case everybody wants to have a shower at the same time.
And so you're thinking like, oh, we just like the valve there, just turn it and then you shut off the water. No, I broke the valve.
Oh.
And so I'm panicking. I grab the shower curtain. I grab towels, I grab the floor mat, and I throw it on there. And I don't know where if you're in the house, it's going to be in the basement.
Yeah.
I don't know where the water shutoff valve is in my apartment. So I'm ripping stuff out from underneath the sink, thinking maybe it's in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, go to the kitchen sink. And meanwhile, all I can hear is,
yeah.
And so like a couple minutes, I end up finding it like in my utility closet, like behind the washer dryer.
Good thing you found it.
Oh my God. And there's water everywhere in this place. And I'm like, oh my God. So I get every single towel that we own and I just like throw it on the floor and just like have to sop up all this mess.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That sucks.
That was a nightmare.
Could have been a lot worse because most people aren't as sophisticated as you and know that there is even a valve to be turned off.
Right. I mean, I told Miranda and she was like, I don't know what I would have done. She's like, I would have called 911.
Yeah. Like a lot of people would have called the superintendents and then like, who knows? Like it's a couple hours before they get there. Meanwhile, you're just dumping gallons and gallons of water into your bathroom.
Flooded the apartment.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So I have to ask, though, when the water was shooting out of the broken valve, did you use that like a bidet?
Of course. Of course I did. Of course I did.
So wait, did you crack the pipe or did you just kick that little plastic knob off the end of it?
I kicked the knob off the end. Okay. So the pipe was still intact. And those are typically like press fits.
Yeah.
So
it depends. A lot of newer places are that, the PEX fitting.
Right.
Whereas, in an older house, it might be a soldered copper valve.
It wasn't PEX. It was like this it looked kind of like PEX, but like a really cheap version where like with just enough force, I could just pull it off. It wasn't like a shark bite connector.
Right. Gotcha.
But yeah, so I just went out and bought a stainless steel one.
Yeah. Nice.
For $13 and did the fix myself. Like I wasn't, come on, I'm not going to call maintenance and.
Again, this is one of those great examples of where it's just easier and faster to fix it yourself. You would have spent more time on the phone and coordinating like a plumber to come in than it took you to just do it yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Tushy works great.
Okay. Good to know. Another convert. I've not talked to a single person who's like, I got it and I never use it. Everybody who buys it raves about it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, Soph and I are moving at the end of the month, so maybe I'll set some up in the new place.
Ooh, tell me about that.
About the move?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just kind of not super happy with our current place. It's it's in a condo, right? Which I've never been a huge fan of. I don't like mess around with elevators up and down all the time. So we're moving to a house, got a driveway, front yard, backyard, whole shebang. So pretty happy about that.
Renting the house?
Yeah.
Nice. That's exciting, man.
Yeah. It'll be good. It'll be a nice little upgrade for us. It's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit nicer. Nothing too crazy. Not like a huge upgrade, but better.
Right. No elevator. No HOA.
Yes, exact. No HOA. None of that. Just normal house on a normal street. So
now, have you interviewed your neighbors yet?
No, but it's a detached house, so I don't really have to worry about sound coming through the walls or anything like that. And then my policy with neighbors is just like, I've got a pretty good sense of I'm a good neighbor. I'm not going to blast music. I'm not going to do anything too annoying. And
you only do meth on the weekends.
Exactly. Yeah. And so if I ever get in like a conflict with a neighbor or something like that, I'm pretty comfortable just telling them to F off.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't blame you.
I've actually never had an issue with a neighbor at any place that I've lived. Oh, no, that's not true. Out of university, I had this neighbor. So after university, I rented a house with 3 of my friends. And my bedroom was up on the 3rd floor of this house. And it was an attached house. So there was one wall was like a partition wall that was shared with another family.
Okay.
And this woman would bang on the walls, and she would say, I can hear you walking around in your bedroom. I can hear when you flush the toilet. I can hear like all these things.
Sorry.
And I was like, okay, like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, I'm renting this house. I'm sorry the walls are crap, but it's also your house too. Like,
right.
Yeah, we got poor sound insulation. I don't know what you want me to do about this. And again,
Stop pooping.
Yeah, stop pooping. So she was like, I can hear when you close doors. I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to stop closing doors in my own home. So this is one of those scenarios where I had to tell somebody to F off and just leave me alone.
And what was the response? She
was just like, oh, okay, well, like she took it, like she accepted my position, I guess. The thing is, like, Sophie felt really bad about it because at that point she was spending a lot of time over at my place, and she would get a little upset about it. But me, I felt nothing.
Fair enough.
Again, I wasn't blasting music. I wasn't doing anything disrespectful. I was just living my life as a normal person would.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, we've got some neighbors. We call the guy above us Stompy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I swear he's like tap dancing with walnut shoes or something.
Yeah.
Or dropping dropping bowling balls. Be like, it didn't break here. What about another foot? Like, it's crazy, man.
In university, my one friend once got in a fight with his downstairs neighbor. So he was on the main floor. Neighbor was in the basement apartment. Yeah. And I think it got really heated at one point. And my friend just went upstairs and he got phone books. And he would hold phone books above his head. And he would just slam them down on the floor.
Oh, nothing like a good passive-aggressive noise complaint.
Exactly. I think this was aggressive. I think this crossed the boundary from passive-aggressive to just straight-up aggressive.
That's funny. Hey, these are the things you're gonna miss once you're out of a communal space, Zach.
I know.
You're gonna be bored. You're gonna have peace and quiet. Yeah. You're not gonna have HOA bugging you about parking spots. What is your life up to anymore?
I know. We have a driveway now, which I'm very excited about. So I'll be able to work on my cars a little bit, which I'm very happy about.
Man.
Yeah. So we'll see. Might have to start the Zach Autos channel.
Zach Autos. Rebuilds.
Oh, Zach Rebuilds. Yeah.
Zach Destroys.
Yeah, probably more likely Zach Destroys.
Well, I know of some other really crappy neighbors too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they're our top tier patrons. We got Luke Schmidt, Derek Jennings at Bacountry Designs, Corey Duvall, Jason Price at Priceless Pro Designs, Scott Eastman at EC's Woodshop, and guys, I hate to tell you,
yeah, there's been a death in the family.
We've had an issue. The CIA is after the power cocker formerly known as Wes.
Yeah.
And here's what happened. He'd been spending a lot of time coming up with a car engine that runs off of water. And he figured it out. And the CIA obviously wants nothing to do with that because then they can't make all their money. Big oil,
They're deep in bed with big oil.
So they offed him. So what happened is if you look on Patreon, he's not a member. His card wasn't declined. And he didn't cancel.
Yes. He's just poof. Gone.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened to Wes.
So, Wes, our thoughts are out to you. And we hope that we can find justice for this.
Another victim of big oil.
They're after everybody.
When will they stop? When will they stop?
What's going on?
And we also have a new mystery patron who is potentially a patron, but then also maybe not.
Yeah, let's just call it like it is. Patreon sucks.
Yeah, it really does.
As a platform, awful. But Patreon is great if you want to check out our podcast or our after show.
Nice pivot.
Yeah, thank you. At patreon.com/offthecutpodcast is where we host our after show every week. And for for the past few weeks, the after show has been longer than the main show, which is not the intention.
Yeah, usually it's supposed to be like a bonus 30 minutes or
Like
something like that. But then
hour and a half.
Yeah, we get rambling sometimes. It's nice because the after show, we get to be a little bit more loosey-goosey. We get to talk a little bit more crap. We get to say the stuff that we can't necessarily say in a completely public setting.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because, it's separate a little bit. But I do want to address one Patreon thing that I forget who brought it up, but thankfully somebody did, and I got the issue rectified.
Oh, sweet.
So there was an issue with people being like, hey, I never got like my sticker or my t-shirt or my sweatshirt or whatever. So what happened is, you remember like 2 months or so ago when Patreon did that massive refresh where they like redid the entire interface?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happened? Oh, and speaking of this, I got to check my Patreon. Shit, crap. Okay. What happened is, anyone who had merch enabled, when they updated it all, it basically erased the merch out of everybody's tier.
Patreon.
So
this is
I
classic
even got this from
Patreon.
support. They're like, oh yeah, this happened. And I was like, well, can't you just send people their stuff now? And they go, no. So our sincerest apologies. If you've been with us for a while, you were supposed to get the merch. It's not handled by us. It's done through it's done through Patreon. So
what's the solve here? Like, will people still get the merch, but it's going to be like a month delayed, or?
Right.
Okay.
And the people who already got the merch will probably get it again.
Oh, well, that's all right.
Yeah. So our sincerest apologies.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody.
This is what we get for trying to keep our hands off of it and just have it be automated.
Yeah.
But it is coming.
Is there an alternative to Patreon?
OnlyFans.
Oh, we could do an OnlyFans. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to be at Workbench Con in 2 weeks?
Yeah,
we can
true.
make all kinds of steamy OnlyFans. We can do a calendar.
Alternatives to Patreon sparked a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you about. So are we good? All the housekeeping is done?
Yeah. Move on. Proceed.
Okay. So one thing, let's do this first. I got a notification today. I actually took some screenshots of it. So Instagram is now switching to they're gonna.
Oh God.
You can pay for verification on Instagram now. So
why would I?
Well, okay. Well, so I took a screenshot of it because if you pay to be verified, you get access to like a person who's like assigned to your accounts, I think. Okay. So technically, if you lose your account, you can now potentially have an avenue for getting it back.
Yeah. So this actually brings me up on something I was going to potentially bring up in the after show as well. Mm-hmm. I had a call today with my personal meta advisor,
nice
strategist.
Yeah.
I guess there's some more we can talk about this more in the after show, but basically they are working, and maybe this is what you got access to. They're working on, what was her words? They are working on a process of releasing a live chat support feature for everyone that's going to be inside of some creator portal. So if you have issues, and she fully admitted, she goes, "Oh, our service is awful." And I told her about the thing that happened this summer where my account got deleted, and she's like, "Yeah, that happens a lot." And I go, so what do I do? She goes, she's like, "Unless you know somebody, you don't."
Right.
And I was like, "That's honestly your answer?" And she goes, "Yes."
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, it's, $1 billion company.
Oh man. She could tell my tone on that phone call was not cordial. Yeah. I was pissed during that, but I was trying to be nice. But
I mean, because you're not mad at the individual, you're mad at the organization, but it's
Right.
You still have to express your negative sentiment.
But I have some interesting tidbits that she told me, and I'll spill all the beans in the after show.
After
whatever
show?
you want to
Okay.
know about
So-
Instagram, how to grow on Instagram, and things they don't tell you.
Oh, that's good. So I was further reading this post that Instagram put out about like perks of being verified. So apparently it's gonna be $15 a month. You get your little blue tick. You get you get access to this dedicated helpline or whatever.
Right.
And then I was reading through. They hit it away on like the third page. It's just a bullet point, but it says increased reach and visibility.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Pay to play, baby.
Pay to play. So now I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to be forced into a situation where I have to do it. Because at a certain point, it's going to become a requirement for brands if you want to do any like sponsored content.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting.
But that's what, $15
Yeah. I think that's
12 months is $180 a year. Okay.
Yeah.
That's less than you pay for TubeBuddy.
Yeah.
But I would argue that TubeBuddy gives you a substantially larger return on investment than.
Yeah, well,
Instagram,
I mean, I guess it remains to be seen. Maybe if you start paying for this verification thing, it'll be like Instagram was back in the old days where you used to get decent reach on posts. So
yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. They said there was added protection against having your account impersonated and blah 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 blah. A couple other little things, but it seemed like really you were paying for a dedicated person to talk to and increased reach were the two main perks that I kind of saw out of it.
But it's not like Instagram even pays you a damn thing. I mean, they don't pay you anything.
Yeah, I get zero from Instagram. The only way I can make money on Instagram is through like brand sponsorships.
And like for me, those have dried up on Instagram like crazy.
You look at you pulling up your Reels bonus.
Okay, my Reels bonus for this month, $126.41.
Right,
and that's me posting like 2 to 3 Reels a day.
Wow, damn.
Like it's a waste of time.
Would you say that the CPM is better on YouTube for YouTube Shorts than it is for Instagram?
Yeah.
Pretty similar?
No, it's better on Instagram.
It's better on Instagram. Shorts. Really? Yeah. Wow.
Last month I got 1.2 million views on Reels Play for $217.09.
Okay. That is better than YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube, I've got 2.6 million views on YouTube Shorts, $100.65.
Wow. Okay.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah. I mean, the only nice thing is that at least with Shorts, you can, and Reels and whatever, you can post them on a few different platforms and kind of, at least you're aggregating that money, right? So you're up to like $200 per million views or something like that.
Right. So what does TikTok get? TikTok sucks too. Because you don't get paid on TikTok either, right?
Nope. No, the only one that pays me is YouTube.
Okay. So TikTok, last week, I had 1.8 million views on TikTok. And I got paid. And the reason we're doing this is not to, like, we're trying to educate people that they think these are cash cows or not. Okay.
I don't think anybody thinks you're flexing with your $200 payments.
So TikTok pays you by day. It's really weird. $1.42, $1.38, $1.49, $2.22, $2.45. $1.48, $3.59. So that was about a week. So that's like
a cup of coffee a day. Yeah.
It's like, it's stupid. It's useless.
Yeah. Nothing to write home about.
The only way you're making money on these platforms outside of YouTube is if you have sponsors.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. So that actually brings me to the next thing that I wanted to talk about. What about some of these alternative video platforms? Like I heard about one recently called Rumble. and I think it's a
Isn't
Canadian
that a
company.
dating app?
No, I think you're thinking of Bumble.
Okay. Proceed. I apologize.
So Rumble is an interesting one because I went on it. I was like, oh, that's like this YouTube competitor. It's Canadian, so I went to check it out. And it seems to be like very political. It seems like people who get banned from YouTube often go to Rumble as like an alternative. So I'm like, I don't necessarily want to be associated with this.
Yep.
You know, you don't want to be on the same platform as every other person who got banned from YouTube because it's, potential. Right. It's a little bit of a landmine, right? But at the same time, it's like, I could also they do pay you. So I could be uploading my videos, no extra work on my part, just onto another platform and potentially making more revenue. So it's like, I don't know. Do I do it? Like, is there some reputational hit that you might take for it theoretically?
I don't know. Because I know what you're talking about. They have like the very like Democratic and very Republican, like super hard either way. And we're not getting political at all. That's not the point of this podcast. But like people who have beliefs that are very, very opinionated on one side or the other, they believe that they're getting like, shadow banned from YouTube or whatever. So they're going to these other platforms. Yeah. My understanding is that these platforms are highly politicalized. Is that a word?
Mm-hmm. Politicized? I don't know. Yeah, something like that.
But that could just be my ignorance of the platform itself.
No, I went on the platform and it seemed like it was very political stuff, a lot of conspiracy theory stuff, which I support, by the way. You know me, I believe in every conspiracy theory. But yeah, it was like, I don't know. It just, you go on YouTube and it's like everything under the sun. And then I went to Rumble and it was like a very select slice of stuff. So it's not like, I don't know. But then at the same time, it's
first like DIY tech maker creator on there, and like boom, Zach Build's got 69 million. What are they called, subscribers or something?
From what I understand, they pay a little bit better than YouTube does because they're in this mode where they're trying to attract new creators. So I don't know. It's
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's definitely an interesting concept.
Yeah. And I think there's some other ones too. Like, I don't think that's the only. I've also heard of Minds, Minds, which is like it's like kind of like it's a social media, but there's like kind of like a cryptocurrency aspect to it. Like you're gonna get burned on that, remember? I know. You like when you post a video on there, you get paid in their cryptocurrency based on how many views you get, and then you can use their cryptocurrency in order to promote your video. So it's I don't know. It's a little bit complex, but it was I don't know. It was an interesting concept, and it's nice to know that there are other platforms out there where people are trying other things.
Here's the thing, and I think you can say this with all social media. You could make a lot of money being a trailblazer on one of these platforms and like getting your claiming your ground, right? Yeah. But you could also waste a boatload of time. Yeah. Well, and this is why I thought it was interesting. It's like, because we're already making the content. I'm seeing like the parallel between YouTube Shorts and Instagram, right? It's like, well, I'm already making the content for Instagram. I'll just post it to YouTube as well, or vice versa. It's like, I'm already making these long form videos. Do I just post them to another website and potentially, capture a new audience or, make some more money? Yeah. I mean, you could always try it. Worst case scenario, I'm sure you could just delete the account, right? Yeah. It's true. But yeah, maybe I'll give it a shot, see what happens. There's also like Vimeo and stuff and like all these other. I thought that was more for like privately hosting videos. Do they pay you on that? I think you have to pay them. I have to pay to host my videos? Yeah. I think they messaged me once before that, like, whatever their, I don't know. I guess they have like a social media team and they're like, hey, you should start posting stuff on Vimeo too. It's like, yeah. Do you get hit up from those people that are like, hey, my name's Doug. I run this like platform where like you can get paid to make the content you want. It's effectively like a Patreon OnlyFans kind of thing, where it's just like all of your videos are behind a paywall, so people have to pay to get the videos.
I'll be honest with you. I get 1 to 2 emails every week from like some weird business where I don't really understand what they do. They're like, we'll promote your video on our, walled garden or something like that. Or I keep getting this one where they're like, hey, we'll pay you your AdSense money right away. And then like, you don't have to wait 28 days to get it or something like that. I was like, this all seems, I can wait the 28 days. Like, I don't need
to. Seems like a paycheck advance cash checking thing.
I think that's exactly what it is. They take like 2% off the top and they give you your money right away. But it's like, yeah.
No thanks. I'll wait.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, we've been in this game long enough. We know that everything's like sponsorships. Like, yeah, I'll get paid 6 months later.
Yeah. 6 months is being kind.
Yeah. Or a year.
Yeah.
Like the Timberland Pro thing. It took me a year. I actually just got paid for that a couple weeks ago.
Nice. It is kind of nice because you don't count on the money, right? So it's just kind of like bonus money that shows up in the mail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when you check into a hotel and you open the microwave and you're like, oh man, there's a burger.
It's exactly like that. It's exactly like that.
Yeah. Well, what time we got here? We got
another 15 minutes in the main show.
Okay. So, question for you. And so it's about my table saw. I got it all situated. Okay. This SOB finally put together. I got the router table in there. She's all set up. Everything works great. However, it has the mobile base on it.
Yeah.
Right. But then it also has the router table. So it's fairly long. It's all cast iron, so it has some weight.
Yes. Yeah, I always feel very sketched out when I'm doing the mobile base thing.
Okay. So my question is, I hit the little lever thingy to pop it up on the wheels. With your saw stop, are you actually able to maneuver that thing, or is the weight with the router table too much of a fulcrum to where you can't move it?
I think since I added the router table, because I have the router table and then I also have another like 28-inch extension.
Right, so you got the 52-inch long one. Like you got the big one.
Yeah. Okay. The big one, exactly. Right. So I think now that I have the added cast iron of the router table, I don't think that mobile base works anymore. Or if it does, I kind of have to like hold on to both sides of the table saw, lean backwards as far as I can to try and, like counterbalance the added weight of the router table. Yeah.
So I don't even know if I talked about this, but when I was putting in the router table, of course, I understand how physics work, right? I put some clamps and stuff underneath it so I could like wheel over the router table, and I didn't have to like try to balance this 150-pound piece of cast iron. I just like set it up, put the bolts in, and then I pulled the stuff out from underneath it. Well, I hadn't put the support legs in yet.
Right.
As soon as I pulled it, it just wanted to go whoosh, instantly crashed. I got it on camera. It's pretty funny. But so then I put the support legs in. Yeah. I put the support legs in, and I'm like, I can't move this on the mobile base. Yeah. Like, you need two people to move it.
You really do. You really do. The mobile base, I think, is just when you're operating it with like just a table saw, no extension or anything.
Okay. That was my question.
Yeah, I've done it in the past where I've been like very carefully kind of leaning it, moving it a little bit at a time, but I always feel like I'm going to snap the support legs off.
That's what I was afraid of.
Especially if your floor is not perfectly even. It's a bit of a thing. Yeah.
So I had considered making like a wooden platform with like leveling feet that I could basically just pop the saw on. And so I can level the entire platform. And then have you seen those like Rockler caster things that are like a plate and you drop them in? And so like when you need the wheels, you just pop them in and then you kick them up. So the whole thing would be on the
Yeah.
entire platform would be on casters. Think of like a
Yes.
riser for like a band at a concert.
Yeah.
I've considered doing something like that.
Yeah, I looked at but those ones, would you be able to actually get the wheel to deploy down?
I don't know.
Because like there's so much weight on the table saw. Like I could see those working with a cabinet or something like that, but I don't know that you have the leverage to get them to properly deploy down and lock. You might, but I just worry that you might not.
Or you need like 8 of them on there.
Yeah. I think you'd need at least 4 for sure. I mean,
because the saw with everything, it's probably what 600-700 pounds.
Yeah, something like that.
Plus, if you made a 3 foot by 2 foot, 1.5 inch thick platform of like Baltic birch or MDF, like what? That's like another 150 pounds.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm just pulling up. There's these rolling tool bases you can get where it's like essentially what you're talking about, but it's a frame that you can change the size of. I don't know if it would be, it like telescopes to different sizes. A company called Bora makes them.
Yeah.
So that might be worth looking at.
But you get what I mean? Like you need the cabinet of the saw on wheels in addition to the support legs underneath the router table.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. It all needs to be linked together, right?
Right. But at the same time, how often am I actually going to move the table saw?
I mean, yeah, I feel like in your shop right now, maybe once you move to a bigger space, you might be moving it around a little bit, but it's one of the most stationary tools there is, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I guess that makes me feel better knowing that it wasn't like I just have a crap mobile base. It's just
no. I think it's just the reality of the situation. I think they're all like that. I've never seen a mobile base that can also support a router table. And
yeah. But I mean, if you had 2 people, like if somebody was on one side,
somebody could hold
the base art, and somebody could hold the opposite side. You could still move it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just not just like, oh, I want to pop this over 6 inches right now. It's like, it's going to be a little bit of struggle.
Yeah, it's not a one-man operation anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like you just wheel it out of the way like a planer that's on wheels or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
These damn big tools, they take up so much space.
I know. I'm actually considering buying a benchtop jointer. And for the sole
purpose, the dark side.
No, hold on. For the sole purpose of doing a video on it, like, can you use a benchtop joiner?
Yeah.
And like really get into like the here's why it's good or here's why it sucks or like
I
don't know. Maybe interesting.
I think my personal opinion is that you can use a benchtop joiner for anything that's like up to 4 feet long, I would say.
Okay.
Anything outside of that, I think it's going to start to kind of fall apart on you a little bit.
Right. You're not going to be making an 8 foot long dining table with a benchtop joiner.
No, definitely not.
Well, so I know you said you were talking about moving and whatnot. Have you considered doing my idea of putting everything in really well labeled boxes and only unpacking it once you need that item?
Yes, I have. I think I will do that. Although I am kind of a psycho and I don't like, when I move, I like to unpack everything. I don't like having the cardboard boxes around. So that'll be a little bit of a challenge. But I'm already going, like I think I told you last week, I'm going through the house. I'm just throwing stuff out.
Oh yeah.
Right now. Like I'm in a real purge mode right now. So
nice.
Yeah.
And it only gets better if you have a drink with it too.
Exactly. Cocktail and purge.
You're like, this couch gone.
Yeah. It's actually good because I've been like going through, like being in our position, we get a ton of free stuff in the mail, right?
Yeah.
Like especially clothes. Everybody sends you a t-shirt. So I've just been bringing garbage bags full of stuff to the job site. Like, hey, you want this jacket? Hey, you want this t-shirt?
Oh,
it's been good.
I give stuff to my friends all the time.
Yeah.
And I had one of the guys, I think he listens to this, Tim. I was like, hey, Tim, you want some clamps? So I just gave him like a boatload of pony clamps because they just kept sending stuff.
Right.
I was like, here you go, take it.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, everybody try and find a friend who's like a YouTuber or something like that, because you get good like roll off stuff. I had a bunch of like extra. I had like a extra Craftsman drill, jigsaw. Just gave it to my buddy. I was like, hey, you're doing a renovation at home. Here you go. Take these.
And then did you do it at the Home Depot parking lot and the guy told you to F off?
No. That came later.
Oh, that's pretty good. Well, you know what? I have a first.
Oh.
I actually listened to our podcast the other day.
Why?
It was the one you did with Mark.
Oh, the one I did with Mark. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think? Did I fill your shoes well? Is that the expression?
Sure. You guys did a good job.
Okay. All right. Nice.
I thought it was funny how the whole episode he thought that you guys were just like BSing. He's like, oh, this is the real show?
Yeah, he kept saying during the show, he was like, so when does this thing actually start? And I thought he meant the after show. I thought he was saying like, when does the after show start? But no, we were doing it the whole time.
Well, somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, that's funny.
Last couple minutes, I've been tool shopping lately.
Oh, tell me. Are you getting...
So
I'm wearing my shaper shirt because
I saw that.
I'm trying to get Russ to send me a shaper. Russ, if you're listening, I'm wearing my shaper shirt. I would love a shaper origin.
Shaper this man. No, speaking of high-tech tools, I've been looking at 3D printers. So I'm trying to decide what 3D printer I want to get. Okay.
So tell me more. Tell me more. I know nothing about sizes of 3D printers. I understand what 3D printing is. So fill me in. Tell me.
Okay. So I'm looking at kind of like a 12-inch by 12-inch by 12-inch 3D printer. It's kind of like a mid-size. That's kind of I should say that's kind of like the higher end of like a consumer grade 3D printer. You can get into bigger stuff, but it gets really expensive really quick. I'm looking at like a heated filament one. So there's two different types. There's basically a 3D printers that like print a little thin layer of melted plastic one layer at a time. But there's also
that's like filament. It looks like fishing line, basically. Like
exactly. Okay. Yeah. So there's that style, but then there's also a style where there's like a vat of resin, and there's basically a laser that dries a thin layer of that resin one layer at a time, and it keeps like moving it up, or I guess keeps moving it down. I don't know. I'm looking at the filament kind, not the resin kind.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I'm trying to find like the Apple 3D printer. I want to find one that's easy to use, because a lot of these 3D printers are very geared towards DIY geeks that like to tinker with. Yeah, nerds like me, right?
Yeah. In a non-derogatory way.
Yeah. Well, slightly derogatory. But they're geared towards people who like to tinker. So a lot of them are like, you get like a big box of parts and you have to spend 2 days assembling it. I'm trying to find something that's very plug and play. So Jason Grissom in the live chat is saying the Bamboo Labs X1 Carbon, and I have been looking at that. I've been looking at that and the Anchor Make M5, because they both are very user-friendly, I would say, or they user-friendly as a 3D printer can be.
Consider reaching out to Travis at Shop Nation. He runs like a massive printer farm.
Yes. Yeah. I was actually thinking, I was like, I need to justify buying this thing. So I was like, what videos can I make? And I was like, like, here are the best like 3D printing projects you can do for your workshop or something like that.
Right.
And one of his little dust collectors was number one on my list of things that I needed to do.
And Zach, here's what you do now. Mm-hmm. Because we need to get you in a like a passive income stream. Mm-hmm. You sell the digital files to the pieces.
Yes. So I buy his files from Shop Nation. What's his Travis from Shop Nation?
I think so.
I buy his files and then I resell them for slightly cheaper than what he sells them for.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I mean, because think of it. What's it's a $10 price. Sell them for $1.99. You'll put them out of business.
Exactly.
We're kidding if people didn't pick up on that.
Clearly.
But that's cool. Yeah, so what are you looking to do with a 3D printer?
I don't know, man. I just think they're really cool, and it's like the edge of technology and building. So I want to explore that a little bit. I feel like it'd be an interesting area to get involved with. Same thing with the CNC. Like when I got the CNC, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to make with this, but I found uses for it pretty damn quick.
See, now what you can do when you're in one of your videos, you can be like, oh, if you don't have a CNC, no problem. Just use your 3D printer. And then
that'll really make people angry.
And then you need to get a laser. And then you can be like, don't have a 3D, or if you don't have a CNC, just use your 3D printer. And then if you don't have a 3D printer, just use your laser.
Just use your laser. I was actually looking at laser attachments for my CNC. There's this company that basically makes a high-powered laser that you just like slot over the top of your CNC.
Do you get wear those like sick glasses, like the orange glasses?
Hell yeah, you do. Hell yeah. Oh, I mean, even if you didn't need to wear the glasses, I still would, just for fun.
Siri's talking to me.
So Jason, Siri, come on, we're talking 3D printers here. Jason in the live chat was saying a lot of people use Enders. What's it called? The Ender 3, I think, it's a very popular 3D printer.
I thought you said something different. Never mind. Proceed.
But this is what I'm talking about. ENDER. Okay. And it's funny, I actually got an email today from a company, not the company that makes the Ender, but a company that distributes them. And they were like, hey, do you want a free one? But again, they're very like tinkery. You had to play with them a lot in order to get your prints right. And that's not what I'm looking for. So
are you thinking, I mean, we've had this discussion 99% of the time, you and I would rather just buy it and try to get a company send it to us.
Yes.
Have you considered being like, hey, will you send it to me? My channel's massive.
I'm a huge celebrity. Send it to me. Send it to me. Yeah, I mean, that's basically
kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
And just be like, it'll be passively placed on the channel.
Yeah. It's something I've thought about. So I actually have a little bit of a relationship with Anchor or Anchor or however you say it. So I was thinking I might ask them if they'd be willing to give me the M5 one that they make. So we'll see.
Is that the same company that makes like the battery packs and like computer peripherals?
Yeah. They're into everything. Ooh, and actually, you know what? In the after show, I will talk about what this is, which is an Anchor product that they're sponsoring me to do a video on sometime in April. But this is a pretty cool product that I think a lot of our content creator listeners will want to hear about.
Ooh, this is exciting.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure if I'm NDA'd on this, so it'll be a after show thing.
I'm in for it. Well, I think we head over to the after show because I want to tell you about the phone call that I had with my personal strategist from Meta.
I like it. And
I don't know. We got a bunch of questions we can answer. We got all kinds of stuff we can do over there.
All right. Well,
have fun.
So what's the standard protocol for the side out? Let's tell people to send us email, send us voice notes, which we haven't got in a while.
Yeah.
What else? Send us DMs on Instagram. Just send us your questions. Find a way to get it to us. We'll figure it out.
Maybe. I hope so.
Maybe.
We tried to
We got a lot of patron questions, but I want some just general listener questions.
Yeah. Or we just change the intro and don't do questions unless you're a patron. I don't know.
Oh, interesting. Who
knows?
We could do that.
Well,
okay.
I got some crackers that I want to get into, but I don't want to do it on the main show. I'm going to get into those in the after show.
I have a beer here that I haven't cracked because we were just so deep in conversation. Yeah.
See, this is what happens on the after show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know I give Zach a tough time for this, but there was one after show where Zach got quite intoxicated.
Oh yeah.
After show, the drinks flow. So do the thoughts and the comments. So anywhere you give us a question in the after show, we're going there. Actually, there was one question that I deleted because it was political, but
Oh,
we don't need any of that nonsense.
Did they ask who we vote for?
Something along those lines.
Okay.
And it was like, it's not necessary to
not
have that
relevant to
discussion.
what we do. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll be over at patreon.com/offthecut podcast if you want to check it out. If you don't, I don't blame you.
Fair enough.
We're such good salespeople.
Look,
you want to buy this car? That's cool. If not, whatever.
I think they would sell a lot more cars if they embrace that style. That's what Apple does. Apple doesn't care if you buy their product or not. They prefer if you didn't. They're that cool.
Right. But I actually, speaking as a politician, sorry, I started eating my crackers early. If I were a politician, here would be my thing. Hi, I'm Eric. Here are the things that I stand for. If you don't, that's cool. The other girl that's running, she's a nice lady. You should vote for her.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
I would instantly vote for that person. I'd be like, I don't even
I know,
agree
that's
with
what I'm
what
saying
they stand
about.
for. It seemed like a nice guy.
Exactly. This just seemed like a cool person. I agree. I agree.
You want to run for president?
Mm-hmm. I do. I do. I have big
I want to
political
be your
aspirations.
vice president, though. You feel like you'd have more of the political understanding than I do, with the economics and stuff. I'll be the vice president.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I'll
like
be the
that.
fun uncle.
We make a good team. Make a good team.
Well, is that gonna? That's I don't know. Yeah, let's wrap this thing up. We gotta.
Okay. Let's kill this thing.
So how do we get out of here? Can you get out of here without killing the live stream? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. We will see you next week, everybody.
See ya.